We would like to start Foreign Minister MOTEGI's regular press conference. The Minister, please.
So there is one thing I would like to report to you. Visiting Africa from tomorrow, the 29th of April through May the 6th, I'll visit Zambia, Angola, Kenya, and South Africa, the 4 countries in Africa, to meet with presidents, foreign ministers, and high-ranking government officials. As international situations become increasingly severe, to preserve and strengthen free and open international order based on rule of law, cooperation with countries in the global south, and with countries in Africa, which is one of the key regions with a growing voice in the international community, is growing in its importance. Through TICAD, Japan has for many years built relationships of trust and cooperation with the countries that I will visit, which share in fundamental values and have significant potential. With this as a foundation, I will try to achieve a shared recognition of regional situations and to further strengthen our bilateral collaboration, including our cooperation at international fora, as partners that co-create the future. Furthermore, given the current situations around energy and resources, I wish to conduct resource diplomacy and strengthen cooperation and partnerships to realize supply chain resilience with countries in Africa which have abundance of resources such as critical minerals. Kenya is where Japan unveiled FOIP, Free and Open Indo-Pacific, back in 2016. In Kenya, I will deliver a speech on evolution of FOIP, celebrating its 10th anniversary, and on Japan's diplomacy towards Africa to showcase Japan's approach and initiatives. That is the plan. That is all. Thank you.
If you have a question, please raise your hand. When invited, come to the nearest microphone, give us your name and affiliation. Yomiuri Shimbun, Fukuda-san. Yomiuri, Fukuda. Minister, you will be visiting Africa. In many African countries, growing dependence on debt owed to China has been pointed out. Through your visit to Africa, what options will Japan present? What is Japan's view on the issue of debt to China? In Africa, it is a fact that there are multiple countries, including the countries that I visit, whose debt to China occupies a significant portion in its foreign debt. That said, our stance is that it's important that development finance to developing countries, including Africa, should be conducted in a manner that meets international standards, including openness and transparency. So openness and transparency, ensuring those, and Japan's assistance to various countries, it's a fact that they appreciate this. Japan will continue to support each country's efforts to strengthen autonomy and resiliency and for sustainable development. We'll support each African countries and under the spirit of partnership and ownership while utilizing various tools. Regarding our stance through my visit to each African country, I'm planning to communicate them once again.
Next question. Ms. Nishimura, Radio France. Nishimura, Radio France. Anti-China comments and posts are increasing in some Japanese magazines, books, and on social media and YouTube. And at the same time, we find not a small number of anti-Japan posts in China. As the foreign minister, what would you say to the current national sentiment in view of Japan-China relations? I am aware that public opinion polls and posts and others show people of our two nations have harsh views against the other nation. I'm fully aware of that. Having said that, the government of Japan has the consistent policy to comprehensively promote mutually beneficial relationship based on common strategic interests and to build constructive and stable relations with China. When our two nations have pending issues and challenges, communication becomes all the more important. The government of Japan will continue to strive to deepen mutual understanding and trust between our peoples. I may add that the government of Japan is open to all kinds of communications with China. Thank you.
Next question, please. Yomiuri Shimbun, Fukuda-san. Regarding your visit to foreign countries, one more question. As the situation in Iran and other factors have once again highlighted the risk of relying on the Middle East, you will be visiting Angola. How does Japan position oil procurement? And during your visit to Africa, are there expectations for concrete progress in procurement or cooperation? Regarding the crude oil import on the 24th, concerned ministerial meeting on the situation in the Middle East was held, and Prime Minister Takaichi said words to the effect that the amount that's needed by Japan as a whole, it's ensured, and as regarding covering the next year as well, regarding alternative sourcing of crude oil, without going through the Strait of Hormuz, for the month of May, about 60% of domestic demand is to be covered. To further diversify crude oil sources within the government, there have been measures to strengthen our efforts. In my visit to Africa this time, Angola is a crude oil producing country, and we would like to have a significant discussion. Please look forward to having good news from us. Any other questions?
If not, with this, we would like to adjourn the press conference. Thank you.